out of the ones we've done, I actually really like Julianne Moore for the role. I think she would do a really good job, and I like everything that she's done. And I don't feel like super strong one way or the other. I don't know. I always like to see because whatever the studios have come out with has always been really good choices, I feel like. But the one person I have always really wanted to play her has been Helen Mirren because of the roles that she's played in the past. And she's not too much older than Glenn Close, who we've talked about before for Coin, but they've gone older with all the casting so far. Like President Snow, for example, is like way older than he is in the books, and
right.
Donald Sutherland is great as Snow. So I think older is better than younger, but that's my thoughts.
And do you feel like physical? If we've seen one thing in the casting of this franchise, it's that they haven't paid as much attention to physical appearance as I might have thought, at least. And for the most part, every choice they've made, even if it hasn't necessarily perfectly matched the physical description of the character in the book, the actors that they've chosen, like I said, for the most part, have been so brilliant that it hasn't really mattered. You know, Sam Claflin doesn't have sea green eyes, but who really cares, because he's going to be an amazing cynic. Do you feel like for Coin, though, that it's important for her to look a certain way? I mean, one of her main features that is described are her eyes, which are the color of slush. And I think I don't know. I just think that's a really cool description. So do you think things like that are important, or having, like, gray hair? Because you can always dye hair or wear a wig, right?
Right. I think the hair, like, as long as it's, like, defined and, like, all one length, I think that's basically my vision for Coin. As long as they are, like, kind of stern-looking or they're angular, something that's very sharp about their appearance is good news, I think. And then the hair doesn't really matter. They can change it as long as it has that kind of – I like the idea of the precise haircut. And as for the eye color, it's never been, like, a deal breaker for me because – you know, they usually don't use that plot-wise. So, like, I'm cool with people's eye colors being different.
Yeah, I think I am too. Like, I like the idea of her having this perfect gray hair and gray eyes just because I feel like, I don't know, I like the idea of her having a very, like, uniform and monochromatic look to her, but you know, like, for example, we'll get to the Julianne Moore rumor after this discussion, but, like, if Julianne Moore were to be cast and they kept her hair red, I mean, I wouldn't care as long as they gave her, like, you know, a style that matched what's in the book, because I think that, you know, is that's how Coin would have her hair, so I think that they should not deviate from that and give her, like, a ponytail or something. Tiffany, what are your thoughts? Do any of these fan favorites appeal to you? Is there someone else who we haven't mentioned? Share all of your Coin feelings with us.
I very much agree with Courtney, and I really like most of the campaigning for Coin choices that we've done and are going to do. Great one that I really liked was Cate Blanchett, just because she's such a great actress, first of all, and then second of all, she has a very interesting look. Her and Tilda Swinton, which we've also talked about for campaigning for Coin, I really would like someone who has an interesting look for Coin. It doesn't have to be completely like what she is described as in the books, but something that can really make her stand out as, yes, this is the most powerful person in District 13, you know, who can saunter in and take power. So that's basically what I'm hoping for.
I completely agree with all of that. Ariel, tell us all of your Coin thoughts.
Well, I kind of like the idea of Julianne Moore or Sigourney Weaver. But the person that I really, really liked, and it could just be because of her striking looks, as it's just perfectly put, is Tilda Swinton. It could be kind of typecast, but, like, I imagine a sort of, like, I don't know, like, that's just who I imagined it as. She just seems to be Coin to me. And she's about the right age, and she has very interesting features that are stern, but yet not like saintly evil, you know? And
right.
I just think that she could be very striking and very powerful, but not in a total evil kind of way, which is what she's not.
Yeah, I really love Tilda Swinton, and I think that's one thing we talked about, or a lot of us mentioned when we wrote about her for Campaigning for Coin, was the fact that because she's played, some baddies like the evil witch in the Chronicles of Narnia, or the first film anyway, people might, like audience members who haven't read Mockingjay and don't know anything about Coin, might kind of wonder if she's, got an evil side lurking below the surface. And I think that was a concern for some people, but I don't know. I mean, I think Tilda Swinton is, in addition to being an amazing actress, she's just such a cool person. Like, she's on my list of people I would love to meet someday. Crystal, are you with us now? And if you are, can you tell us any of your thoughts that you want to share about these fan favorites, or if there is another actress we haven't mentioned?
Like for Julianne Moore, I'm not a big fan of that casting choice, so I'm kind of hoping that it's just a rumor. To me, she's just a little too sweet looking. I mean, she's got nice, cute red, like bright red hair, and she has a really nice smile, and I've seen her in a lot of cheerful roles. I mean, I saw her in, what was that movie with Annette Bening?
The Kids Are All Right?
Yes, that one. I mean, I saw her now, and then she was really good, but, I mean, she's still, like, a very cheery kind of person, and that's totally not what I pictured for Coin. So, I mean, my Coin has always been, and you know this, it's always been Jessica Tuck, who is Nance Flanagan in True Blood. I'm still holding out hope for her, but then I was really disappointed in Phoenix, so maybe I shouldn't be too hopeful.
I will comment on Jessica Tuck. She's one of my favorites for sure. I think she's very, when I read, I don't really ever picture specific actors very often, but Jessica Tuck, I think, physically fits like the sort of fuzzy image of Coin that I had in my mind while reading. Plus, she is a really fantastic actress. I think she would be awesome. Is there anyone else?
She's just very good at being cold, and I don't know if I can say the B word. But, I mean, I just picture Coin as, like, a very cold and unfeeling kind of person, and I feel like she did that role really well in True Blood, so, I don't know, that's why she's her for me.
Well, and she has a face, like, Jessica Tuck is very pretty, and when she's happy and smiling, I mean, she looks very nice, but she can totally do a face that is just very scary and
intimidating, right?
Very intimidating. Like, makes you think like, oh my God, I do not want to cross that woman.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I guess. Well, I've talked about like some of the people I like. Another person, I will say this: if Coin were younger by like 10 years, I think my dream Coin would be Vera Farmiga, but that is because she's just one of my favorite actresses right now. And she really, I think, could be such a good Coin, but I do think that she is too young. But other than that, I love Jessica Tuck, and I really love, I love the idea of Tilda Swinton. And we recently wrote about Katie Seagal for Campaigning for Coin, and I would never, ever, ever, ever have thought of her as a potential Coin, but I really kind of love the idea. And if you're not familiar with her, she is on Sons of Anarchy, which I've never seen, but I have seen her on Lost, and she's probably most known for playing Peg Bundy in Married with Children, but I wouldn't use that performance to gauge her Coin skills. Adam, what do you think?
Well, I'm perfectly okay with the Julianne Moore choice if that rumor turns out to be true. I can't say she's my number one choice, but I could definitely live with that. And Crystal, sorry to disappoint you. I'm not quite as against it as you are. I'm kind of on board with it. But that being said, we were all praising Courtney earlier for finally coming back on the show. Courtney, you and I are on the same page about Helen Mirren. I would have loved her for this role. I think she could have captured it so well. Even if she is a little older, they can make her look young. She looks young for her age regardless. She's got a tremendous range. She could have looked 50, I think. And outside of that, this may sound like a boring pick, but Sigourney Weaver, there was a reason I think she was the top choice for so many fans, because she really does seem like she would have embodied that role so perfectly. So Weaver's another one, and Ariel, I think Tilda Swinton was another top choice. Really would have been superb. So I don't think they're necessarily going wrong with the list of actresses that we've considered are all very accomplished and extremely talented. So I don't think this is going to turn out poorly. It just may be a question of minimal personal preference between one or the other. And I don't want to put Crystal in a box, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that if Julianne Moore does end up being President Coin, that 2 years from now, Crystal will say, well, I actually kind of liked her.